Part three of I was 16, he was 23, how I met my husband. So, again, like I said, I'd be riding around with him after school and stuff. There were two cars that he would be picking me up in. Um, at this point of time, he just told me that he had roommates that he lived with, and he had told me that he had four daughters. Now, anybody would say, damn, four daughters. You 16, he 23. But at the time, I had in my mind, I felt like
people with children need love too. And he can have someone even if he's not with the mothers of his children.
and whatever rhetoric I had in my head, I thought four was a lot, but I accepted it. So, summer was approaching. I ended up getting a summer job, my actual first job, working as a telemarketer at a call center. It was a real hood call center. Most of the people there had ankle monitors, and they was in halfway house. They all thought I was their age because I was very mature. I was wearing my mom's little business suits to work, and everybody was cool. But I was working there, saving up to get my first car, preparing for senior year. So I would see him sometimes, throughout the summer. After I turned 17 that July, I remember um, we're he had picked me up. We were supposed to spend the day together that day, and one of the two cars that he used to pick me up in, we're driving down the street. We're getting close to the light at the intersection, and I noticed like a little discoloration on his arm. So I'm like, "What is that? Is that your birthmark?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so he starts flexing so I could see it. So I'm touching on his muscles and stuff. Next thing I know, I hear busted. It was like everything turned into
slow motion.
I look to my right. There's a car that stopped next to us, and there is a woman getting out of the passenger side, walking, real power walking, heading my way, heading straight to the passenger's door. She's like, "Get the out my car! What you doing?" Da, 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 da. Like rah 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 going off. I'm like, "Who is that?" He's like, "Oh, that's my baby mama." And he's telling me, "You ain't got to get out. Don't move." I'm like, "Well, she's telling me to get out. She's saying that this is her car." He's like, "You ain't got to go nowhere." So I'm like, I'm not staying in this woman's car. She's upset. She wants me to get out. This is her car. I didn't know it was her car, but now I do. So I get out the car. I have my hands up, like I don't want no smoke. Mind you, I'm 17 and she grown. Um, so she's going off. She's yelling. I look in the car. Her mom is telling her, "It's not worth it, girl. It's not worth it." It's a car seat in the back with their daughter that's a little over 1 year old. It was a lot. So she goes, after I get out the car, after she put me out her car, she heads over to his side of the car. And he kind of like put his big head out the window and she mushed his head. She was like, "You too, bastard. Get the out my car." Da, 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 da. So she's yelling at him. He's telling me to get back in the car. She's like, "She ain't getting back in my car." And so he tells her to get in the car. So she gets in the car and he says, "I'll be right back." And she like, "No the hell he won't." And I'm like, "What?" So I just remember I started walking. I was pretty close to the mall, so I was just thinking in my head, well, I guess that's the end of that. Like, I don't know what just happened, but apparently they got something going on that I don't know about. So I just started walking and pretty much faced the fact that it was over for us. Um, Less than about 5 minutes later, he pulls up on me, just him, and he's like, "Get in." I'm like, "Okay, what's going on?" He's like,
Yeah, this is my car. She let me drive it to get around and stuff, and she already told me that she didn't want me having no other women in the car. So she was mad about it, but I told her that I can't have you out here walking by yourself, so I let her know that I was gonna come pick you up and take you. She cool with it.
so I don't know any better. I'm just like, "Oh, okay." So we continued on with our day, and I'll spare the details of all of that, but that was my first encounter with some drama with him. And I found out at that point that this car belonged to his daughter's mom. Shortly after this incident, there was a time where I couldn't get a hold of him. I couldn't reach him on his phone. He was no longer working at Dollar Tree, and so I was worried. So I remember I hadn't heard from him in a few days, and there was a dude that lived down the street from me that I knew him. So I was walking from Dollar Tree looking for him, and I was walking back to my grandma's house, and I heard the door open at the dude's house. So there was like some trees right there. So I was like bending down trying to see if it was him. He was bending down trying to see if it was me, and he kind of had a crush on me too. So I was like, "Hey, you know such and such, right?" And he was like, "Yeah, I know him." And I'm like, I haven't been able to get a hold of him. Do you know what's up? Like, what's going on with him? So he's like, yeah, um, he violated his parole. He was in the halfway house and he violated. So they locked him back up. He got such and such amount of years. I don't remember exactly how many years he told me he got, but it was double digits. So I was devastated. I went back to my grandma's house. I remember walking into the bathroom, literally looking at myself in the mirror crying. Like,
I really liked him. Oh my gosh, he's gone for all these years. What am I gonna do?
so, um, yeah, I was having a little temporary meltdown, heartbreak moment. But a couple of days later, he ended up popping back up. But that revealed that he had been lying. The roommates that he had been telling me about, he had roommates, all right. But it was a halfway house. I was thinking he was in an apartment somewhere with a couple of guys. So that revealed some things to me too. And when I tell y'all that certain things happen, like God be trying to orchestrate certain things so you can go on about your business. And a lot of times we continue to force things to go the way we want them to go. Because when I look back on my relationship with my ex, there were so many opportunities for me to move on, go another way, go another route. But I wanted him so bad. I wanted the relationship so bad that there was a lot of forcing going on my end. Um, Case in point, there was another time where I think at this point I had moved back to my parents' house. I think at this point I had my own car, and I remember I would walk to the corner store and get on the payphone and try to reach him, and wasn't getting no answer. So again, it was another moment of time where I couldn't reach him. I didn't know um, how to get a hold of him because I had met a few of his um, homeboys or whatever people, but I didn't know how to get a hold of them. And that reminds me that remember I told you there was a seed planted before saying I would make a good dancer. There was another time when he introduced me to his friend, like probably the first week that we were kicking it. And I used to carry this little bag that matched a swimsuit that I had. It was a little purse. And I remember him saying to his homeboy,
Boy, what kind of purse does that remind you of?
and he was like, I don't know.
It's like that look like the purse the dancers be wearing, huh?
And he was like, oh, okay. And keep in mind that was another seed planted. So um anyway, fast forward to again once I got my first car. I think I had my first car at this point. I was picking him up now that I know he's in the halfway house. I know he's telling me, okay, pick me up here, pick me up there. I'm taking him to do different things that he had to do um to be in the halfway house, like go apply for jobs or whatever. And in between time, he's going to meet up with this homeboy or kick it over here or whatever. So at this point, I had lost contact with him, and all I knew is that he worked at a car wash in this particular city outside of Denver. So instead of me just allowing that to be a thing for me to just go on about my 17-year-old way at this point, I think I don't think Google was popping like that back then. Maybe Ask Jeeves, but I really think I went and looked up car washes in that city in the payphone, and I started calling them, looking for him. And I think by the third or fourth time, I found the one that he was at, and I left them a message and told them to have him call me, and he did.